So we are now ready for the rounding up and conclusion part. And because we have 2 great days packed with insights, knowledge, and fresh perspectives behind us, so let's do a recap. And I'm pleased that Professor Dr. Engel Hessel, the Commissioner for Digitalization, Director for Digital Innovation at the German Federal Ministry of Food and Agriculture, is with us again, as well as Professor Jerry Boyle, President of EURAGRI. Both are with me, and I'm very happy that you are with us. So Professor Dr. Engel Hessel, please go ahead with some rounding up remarks.
Thank you very much, Marty. I want to start with a table showing the numbers of participants who have registered to this conference. As you see, the data about the participants show that the digitalization in agriculture is of great interest. Far more than 1,000 participants registered for this conference. Most of them came from the EU, but also people from other European countries, as well as from Asia, from Africa, America, and Middle East, participate to this conference. With this conference, we tried to show how digitalization is transforming agricultural primary production and the food sector. All actors across the whole value chain, up to the consumer, are affected from this transformation. In different sessions of the conference, our speakers provided insights in the state of play of digitalization in the different areas along the agricultural value chain. And on the second day of the conference, we looked to the future trends of digitalization. We discussed with you the opportunities, but also the challenges. During the conference together, we also tried to find answers to the questions like what is needed from policymakers at EU and at national level to make digital transformation of agriculture a success for all stakeholders? And how can digital innovations be connected to sustainability along the whole agricultural value chain? Which rules and/or guidelines for agricultural data should be implemented at the EU level? And now I would like to sum up the main outcome, and I will start with some key statements of the conference. Well, on EU level, different tools and programs are provided to boost this digitalization. And right now already, but also in future, it will become more important to collaborate, not only on national, but on EU level to take the full advantage of the opportunities of the digital offers. And it became clear that the diversification makes the agri-food system more resilient, and digitalization offers a tool to make this happen. And furthermore, the digitalization, which had discussed it a lot, can play an important role in achieving the sustainable development goals if we use the technique intelligently. And new players in agriculture come and enter the market, like big tech concerns, and this will also increase the risk of dependence and of the market power. Furthermore, we found out and we stressed new possibilities by using the digitalization. I think one very important point is that digitalization helps us to treat plants and animals at an individual level. Furthermore, food can be individualized according to different requirements. The traceability of food and products from farm to consumer can be enhanced. And technology should serve more self-determination, protect our environment, and preserve our resources. And we know that digitalization is a key leading edge technology targeting conflicts, like we have it in the agriculture we have the conflict of global food security while preserving the natural resources. And for a long time already, but also in future, agriculture, food sector has a pioneering role. Like when we talk about autonomous tractors or machines, there are a lot of pioneering role in the agri-food sector. And by using all these new technologies, many things can be done differently. And thus, we will have a change in the whole agri-food system. So, what preconditions are necessary to make digitalization in agriculture value a success? First of all, we need information and techniques which should be easily accessible and reliable. And without trust, we heard it a lot of time, without trust and without data sovereignty and a fair data exchange infrastructure and the willingness to give data, we can't have a success. So we need a fair share of the benefits, and I think we have new challenges. We have technical challenges, ethical challenges, economic challenges, and legal challenges. And for these challenges, new rules have to be developed. And at the same time, innovation must not be hindered. I always like to say, don't misuse data, but don't misuse data in this context. When we look at the governance framework, we learned in the last 2 days that data, we know that all for a longer time, not only for the last 2 days, data plays a key role in enhancing sustainability. And agriculture data is a valuable economic good, a new type of an economic resource. And special agriculture it's a little bit different than other industry. Agricultural data shows some particularities in comparison to other industries. So specific rules or guidelines for agriculture were discussed. Good reasons for specific rules have to be were discussed for agricultural data, and we learned about the code of conduct on agriculture data sharing. But again, I pointed out before, the farmers' trust in digital applications is crucial. And furthermore, what is also crucial? First of all, we have to clarify who are the owner of the data, especially when you think about farmers who produces the data with their tractors, but also the tractor manufacturers sometimes think to be the owner. So I think it's a big point who owns the data and who is the data originator. Furthermore, we have to discuss the data portability. Farmers should take their data to their self-chosen provider. We don't want to have lock-in effects. Another point was the development of data spaces for agriculture, because there are already a lot of different concepts in the EU how this should be done. Furthermore, we need clear rules for data sharing throughout the whole value chain. And again, farmers' data sovereignty, they should have their own data in their disposal. And again, this is a point which is discussed not only in agriculture, but everywhere. We need machine-readable interfaces. So I think it's a very big point now, and it's very interesting for me, the question what is needed from policymakers at EU and national level to make the digitalization successful and to have a digital transformation in the agricultural sector. First of all, I think we heard this point several times, the last 2 days, we need access to public data. And I think this is very important that everybody has access to public data. Furthermore, we discuss it also a lot, is a digital infrastructure. Broadband is needed to be available for all. The online reporting or reporting should be introduced in the EU. And we have to enhance investments in technology and in people, knowledge for the people about the digitalization. And I think we have to keep always in mind the last statement. The last statement is digitalization is just a tool. Our aims are others. It's just a tool to realize our aims. And therefore, the real driver for digitalization or for digital transformation is a strategy. What are our aims? Digitalization needs to support the systematic change to reach the most pressing political and environmental goals. And I will finish with this statement because I think this is one of the important ones. And before I give back to Martin, I want to thank all of you for contributing to this conference. And thanks to all of you for your interest and for your contributing and for discussing. And a very, very big thanks goes to my colleagues from our ministry for the efforts during the last month to make this conference also under the COVID situation possible. And I wish you all now a nice Christmas time and stay healthy. And I go back or hand back to Martin.
Thank you very much, Professor Hesse. And Jerry, what are your closing thoughts for our conference? And I think you have to unmute yourself.
Okay.
That's wonderful. Thank
Martin, you. Greetings to everyone from Ireland and good afternoon to all. My reflections briefly are that, first of all, I think the mark of an excellent conference is when you find out after the proceedings how little you actually knew about the topic to begin with. And on that basis, I think we've had a truly excellent conference over the past 2 days. I think also from a EURAGRI perspective, many of the issues that were raised in discussion and in the presentations, I want to assure participants we will be coming back to in the future. And while I'm mentioning EURAGRI, I'm sure, Martin, you'll forgive me if I mention that we are constantly seeking new members to join our network from right across Europe, and I hope prospective members will have seen the benefit from the proceedings of the last 2 days. Very briefly, from my perspective, and Professor Hessel has outlined many of the learnings and messages which I would endorse, but from my perspective, there are 2 key points I'd like to make. A key message, for me anyway, is the potential for digitization to build trust across our biomass value chains. I think that was a message that came up several occasions. And indeed, I think we can all point to examples. The absence of trust has led to a significant deterioration in value in many value chains in countries. And for me, a key learning and of relevance, of course, to research, performing and innovation organizations that are the constituent members of EURAGRI, is that digitization has a huge potential to change the way that we conduct our research in agriculture, food, and other natural resource areas. So I just want to conclude by thanking a number of people, but I want to start, of course, by saying that EURAGRI we're absolutely delighted to have joined forces with the Federal Ministry of Food and Agriculture in organising this unique event, of course, as part of Germany's presidency of the Council. And I do want people that were particularly responsible managing what was a logistical challenge in circumstances of COVID. People, because I know there were many more people involved, but I do want to pay particular appreciation to Andrea Machmuller and to Joshua Mooring, and also, of course, to the overall moderators of the sessions, and first of all, you, Martin, for your excellent work and the patience that you demonstrated with all of us in making our presentations and comments. I would also like to thank your colleague, Vincent Herr, and of course, Mark Daniels, whom I understand provided expert technical support. From a EURAGRI perspective, I absolutely have to single out our Secretary General, Bettina Heimann, who did an extraordinary amount of work, along with our colleagues in the ministry over the last 12 months or so in organising this event. And also I want to extend my appreciation to Uno Svedem, who provided, as always, intellectual support in developing the concept and in finalising the programme. And indeed, I want to extend appreciation to my fellow board members on EURAGRI for all of their work and enthusiasm over the last 12 months or so. You know, it's quite extraordinary. I counted over 30 speakers that contributed over the 2 days, and a conference like this wouldn't be possible, and indeed the success of the conference certainly wouldn't be possible without the excellence of each and every one of those speakers. And we are really, really grateful for their contributions. We also had a large number of moderators for the individual sessions, and in tracks 1 and 2, and also I would like to extend my appreciation to them. And finally, those of you who attended will perhaps pass on the message that the conference proceedings will be available on the conference page. And certainly from my point of view, I will want to come back and visit many of the presentations over the next number of weeks. So thank you to everyone, and thank you, Martin.
Thank you, Jerry, very much for your remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, with these two closing statements by Professor Hassel as well as by Jerry Boyle, our wonderful conference ends. And we hoped you enjoyed the discussions. We hoped you had the opportunity to gain new insights, and you might have even tried out the online networking tool, so you had the opportunity to get to know each other a little bit better. I would like to inform you that within the next weeks, you will receive a follow-up email, and that email will also include a link that directs you to the conference videos that will be uploaded. So you can be very sure that none of the content and all the inspiration is out there for you. The Federal Ministry's website is also a really great resource to learn more about the topic, recent developments, and also programs that offer support. And also EURAGRI's website, I'm very sure, is a great resource. So don't miss to check out these. So thank you very much for joining us and being with us at this all online conference. From my side, thank you very much. Have a good evening, goodbye, and we hope to see you very soon.